Hi, I'm Joycelyn Wells of Love, Passion, and Happiness. And today we're going to talk about something that we all hate to deal with, the truth. Not about the truth of what people are doing to us or what's happening around us, but the truth about what we tell ourselves, our own truth. Today we're going to talk about telling yourself the truth. So I chose this topic because I know that I always speak from an I perspective, but I have a tendency to kind of ride the line between the truth, what really is, and fantasy, what I hope it to be. So, and not hope, and that hope is fantasy, that's something different, but the truth and what really is, and the fantasy in my mind that I've created. Now, everyone may not use this creative moment to make situations better than they actually are, but I know that I, for one, do. I have a tendency to go into situations and fantasize about what they'll be instead of accepting the reality of what they are, right? So a few years ago, several years ago, probably 15, 16 years ago, I ran across a book, and the book talked about telling yourself the truth. So what I started doing with that moment is just looking in the mirror at myself and telling myself the truth about the situation that I was in. If I hated my job, then I hated my job. If I was unhappy in my relationship, I was unhappy in my relationship. If my whole persona was a sham, I just had to tell myself the truth about it instead of allowing me to be miserable in a space that my mind created as a fantasy. So that's exactly what we'll talk about today. When you look at different aspects of your life, and you have to keep in mind being truthful of who you are and how you exist and why you exist, and the things that are around you, even your external factors and your internal factors. Being truthful is the thing that gets us over the hump. Being truthful is what puts us in a position to deal with what's really happening in our life. The fantasy allows us to still kind of linger in a space waiting for it to get better, waiting for people to respond better, waiting for ourselves to lose weight when we haven't really been doing, waiting for this to get better, waiting for our finances to change, waiting for this to change. But if you're not truthful about who you are and what you're doing, none of those things are going to happen. So in the last episode, and we're talking about taking care of yourself, everything, your mind, your brain, learning new information and continuing to grow, this is how the truth fits into that perspective, right? So you have to literally take pieces of your life and tell yourself the truth about it. If you're in a job that you hate, you need to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I hate this job, now what? Then you have a choice on what your next move is. If you hate your job and you've never said it to yourself, because you don't want to lie to yourself, of course. If you hate your job and you've never said, I hate my job, to yourself in the mirror, because that's the person who knows you better than anybody else, right? If you don't own the fact that you've placed yourself in a position, in a situation that's unhealthy for you, you're going to stay in that situation hoping that it gets better, waiting on somebody to do something in that position to make you feel better. That's not how that works. You are in control of your actions. You are in control of your movements. If you're in a relationship and you don't like the relationship, and it's not benefiting you to make you feel better, to make you want to thrive, to make you grow, if you're not receiving any goodness out of the relationship, tell yourself the truth about it. Don't say, oh, she needs me because, or he needs me and I'm gonna stay because, and I know he loves me, or I know she loves me, and they're just this. You can't make excuses, and you can't make excuses for anyone else. Right? You can expect them to do something in the future. You have to deal with what they're doing for you right now. So when you're telling yourself the truth about your existence, you have to look yourself in the eye and tell yourself the truth. Now, if you can look yourself in the eye and lie to yourself, and allow yourself to continue to live in a place of misery and not want to get to a place of abundance and happiness, that's just a horrible place to be. We're not set up that way. It's like cutting off your own leg or biting your own skin. The mind isn't set up to do that, right? So that's what this is about. Being who you are in the truth of what you are. Accepting it, making different choices, and moving forward. That's it for today. Love, passion, happiness. See you next time.